A mosquito does not simply steal a little of your blood, it steals human lives. More of them every single year than every shark, every snake, every lion, and every other predator on the planet put together. And yet most families are still trying to fight these tiny killers with weak candles that barely do anything, and sprays they do not even want near their own children. Tonight that ends. I am going to show you a 5-minute homemade trap that copies the exact signal of your own breath and pulls every mosquito in your yard straight into it. I will show you the one native plant that was studied seriously enough to be tested for soldiers in some of the most dangerous mosquito zones on Earth. And I will show you the quiet backyard planting strategy that keeps entire luxury properties almost completely bite-free all season long. No harsh chemicals, no expensive machines, just simple things you already have or can grab for a few dollars. If you are new here, tap that subscribe button right now, because we share natural garden and home secrets most people are never taught. And drop a comment below telling me how bad the mosquito problem is where you live, because I read every single one and turn the worst cases into future videos. Let us get straight into it. Here is what nobody in the mosquito repellent industry wants you to understand. Mosquitoes do not find you by accident. They are not just drifting around hoping to bump into a warm body. They are following a precise chemical trail that leads directly to you. Every time you breathe out, you release carbon dioxide into the air around you. To a mosquito, that invisible cloud of carbon dioxide is a ringing dinner bell. They can sense it from a shocking distance away, well over 100 feet, and they lock onto that trail and follow it with frightening accuracy right back to the source. That source is you. That source is your family, relaxing on the back porch on a warm evening. That is exactly why, no matter where you move or what you rub on your skin, they seem to find you within minutes. They are not guessing at all, they are hunting. And once you truly understand that, the whole solution suddenly becomes obvious. You stop trying to hide from them, and instead you give them a signal they crave even more strongly than they crave you. That brings us straight to the trap. And this is the part that genuinely amazed me the first time I saw the science behind it. When ordinary baking yeast feeds on sugar, it ferments, and that fermentation releases carbon dioxide, the very same gas your body breathes out with every breath. To a hunting mosquito, there is no difference whatsoever between the two. A simple bucket of fermenting yeast and sugar sitting quietly in your yard pumps out a carbon dioxide signal they simply cannot ignore, and they fly straight into it. Here is exactly how to build one for yourself. Start by pouring 1 quart of warm water into a clean bucket or a large plastic bottle. The warmth matters, because warm water wakes the yeast up faster and kickstarts fermentation almost immediately. Now add 1 tablespoon of dry yeast and 2 tablespoons of brown sugar into the water. Give it a gentle stir and then leave it alone. Within just a few minutes, you will notice tiny bubbles beginning to rise to the surface. Those bubbles are your carbon dioxide being produced, and that is your mosquito magnet quietly switching itself on. Next, add 1 tablespoon of ordinary dish soap right on top, and this time do not stir it in at all. Just let it float and spread across the surface. Here is why that one small step matters so much. The dish soap breaks the natural surface tension of the water completely, turning the surface into a deadly trap. The instant a mosquito touches down on that water expecting a meal, it sinks and it cannot climb back out. It is simple physics, and it is completely ruthless. Place your finished bucket in the shaded corners of your yard, near any standing water, or close to the doorways where mosquitoes gather most. Refresh the whole mixture every 3 to 4 days, as the fermentation naturally slows down and the bubbling fades. And every week or so, move the trap to a slightly new position to stay 1 step ahead of them. You will usually notice a real difference on the very first night. If a homemade trap like this is exactly the kind of clever, cheap solution you came here for, do me a quick favor and hit subscribe, because there is a lot more of this coming. Now, before we go any further, I want to show you something most mosquito videos skip over completely, because it does not involve buying a single product. There are 10 common plants that mosquitoes genuinely cannot stand, And some of them may already be growing in your yard right now, without you having any idea what they are truly capable of. First up, marigolds. Marigolds contain a natural compound that is closely related to the active ingredient found in many commercial insect repellents. Studies have shown marigolds can push mosquitoes back from several feet away. So when you plant them around your outdoor seating, that whole space becomes naturally protected. Next, lavender. Lavender releases a compound that interferes directly with a mosquito's sense of smell and its nervous system. It does not just cover up your scent, it genuinely overwhelms them. In the south of France, lavender has been used to keep pests away since ancient times. Then there is catnip. Catnip has been found in research to be many times more effective at repelling mosquitoes than the harsh chemical repellent most people spray on, and the compound inside it actually drives mosquitoes in the opposite direction. You can crush a few fresh catnip leaves and rub them gently on exposed skin for quick natural protection. Lemon balm is next, and it carries the same family of oils found in classic citronella candles, except in far higher natural concentrations. Just brush against the plant while you are outside, and it releases those protective oils. Peppermint follows, and its strong menthol scent floods a mosquito scent receptors so completely that they struggle to find their target at all. You can steep fresh peppermint leaves in witch hazel for about a week to make a simple homemade spray. Rosemary contains its own aromatic protective compounds, and here is a lovely trick. Toss a few fresh rosemary sprigs onto your barbecue coals, and the fragrant smoke spreads protection across your whole yard while flavoring your food at the same time. American beautyberry is the one most people have never even heard of, and we will come back to it in a moment because it truly deserves its own spotlight. Rounding out the full list of 10 are basil, tansy, and citronella grass, each a proven natural deterrent in its own right. Now here is the truly smart part. The strategy that separates a yard that still gets bitten from a yard that does not. The secret is layered defense. Use tall citronella grass or American beautyberry as your primary barrier ring around seating areas. Then plant basil and rosemary near the entrances and pathways, right where people naturally brush against them as they walk by and release their oils. Finally, use lavender and marigolds as a secondary outer ring further out. This layering works because different plants release their protection in different ways and at different times. Some plants give off their scent constantly, while others only activate when they are touched or disturbed. Some are strongest in certain weather and temperatures. By combining several plants with overlapping zones of protection, you build a complete barrier with no gaps and no weak spots for a mosquito to slip through. Landscape designers who use this exact layering approach report a dramatic drop in mosquito encounters for the yards they treat. Now let us come back to the plant that earned serious scientific attention, American beautyberry. This native North American shrub produces a couple of rare natural compounds that are found almost nowhere else in the plant world. These molecules do more than simply annoy mosquitoes. They create an invisible zone of protection that reaches roughly 15 to 20 feet in every direction around the plant. And it does not stop at mosquitoes. It also works against ticks, fire ants, and chiggers at the same time. Scientists believe American beautyberry evolved these powerful defenses because it naturally grows in damp wetland areas where mosquito pressure is brutal. To survive in those swampy conditions, the plant simply had to develop serious protection. And now, you can put that very same protection to work in your own backyard. People report sitting within 10 feet of these bushes during peak mosquito season, even in humid, swampy air, without getting a single bite. You can crush the fresh leaves and rub them on exposed skin, or you can boil the leaves down to make a natural spray. Indigenous peoples use this exact technique for centuries, and modern testing confirms it holds its own against many commercial products. Best of all, the shrub is wonderfully easy to grow. It tolerates everything from wet clay to dry sandy soil. It thrives in full sun or partial shade, and it needs no fertilizer or chemical treatment at all. And in the fall, It rewards you with clusters of brilliant purple berries that feed the birds and look absolutely stunning in any garden. Here is one last thing worth understanding before you go. The real reason most mosquito solutions fail is not that they do nothing. It is that each one tackles a single piece of the problem, while completely ignoring all the rest. A candle only guards one small circle of air. A skin spray wears off in a couple of hours. A zapper kills a few mosquitoes, but does nothing about the hundreds quietly breeding in standing water 20 feet from your door. A complete system works because it attacks the problem from every direction all at once. The fermentation trap draws them in and finishes them at the source. The layered plants create overlapping zones of protection that work quietly day and night, with no effort from you. And simply understanding that mosquitoes follow your carbon dioxide, rather than wandering into you by luck, means you can position both the trap and the plants in exactly the right spots to intercept them long before they ever reach your skin. 2 honest notes before we finish. First, none of these methods need any special equipment or costly products. Every single thing in this video can be found at a grocery store, a garden center, or already growing somewhere in your yard. Second, please give the trap at least one full night before you judge it. The fermentation needs a little time to build up a strong carbon dioxide signal, and the mosquitoes nearby need time to find their way to it. So if this helped you take back your own backyard, tap that like button and subscribe right now, because we share the natural home and garden secrets most people never learn. And drop a comment telling me which method you are trying first, whether it is the trap or the plants, because your answer decides what we cover next. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.